Hi everyone, today we are going to discuss HTTP response header and Ajax MVC framework. Before we start, this topic is more related to ASP.NET, jQuery JavaScript, and configuring these websites in IIS, and to debug these HTTP response header using Fiddler tool. So let's start going. So what we are going to discuss today, we are going to discuss ASP.NET and Ajax framework. We'll learn how to achieve page navigations or processing of server-side code without using a page post bag. Also, we are going to learn how to process server-side events through jQuery Ajax call. Next, we'll see how we can process information from one page to another page by making use of response header. So we are going to look into APIs such as http context.current.response. We will also look the process to fetch the values from this response header using JavaScript. So that is there in this slide. To know more about it, we'll just have a small demo here which I have prepared to help you understand better what is this framework is all about. Okay, I'll just zoom this window to say 150 for better understanding. So before we go more into this, I'll just show you the pages, the structure of this solution. I have a solution HTTP response header. And I have a website, HTTP response header website. Now this web applications have pages. Now first page of my website is home page and a dashboard page. These are the two main important pages I have in this web application to demo purpose. Now if you look here, web user control is a part of home.aspx page. See, this is home.aspx page. This is registered here. If we go in design view, you will see here is a user control for your information. So which I have dragged here and applied into this home page layout. So this is what is home page and web user control. These are, so in MVC we call user control as a partial view. So I tried to create a demo such that it somewhat imitates the MVC framework. Now let's look into jQuery Ajax processing. So jQuery Ajax processing is an intermediate processing page which is invoked using a Ajax jQuery JavaScript methods to process server-side code which is there in the web's user control page. So my purpose of this demo is that I have one page, home page, where I have a user control in it. I'll click on submit, I'll do some server-side processing, and I will navigate to dashboard.aspx. Before we dwell much, I'll just walk you through what is there in the home.aspx page. So let's see the source code. So here I have a JavaScript jQuery document.ready. I have a .btn.live.click. This is an unobtrusive JavaScript. This is selectors to .btn. .btn is present in web user control.aspx. If I show the design, this is a submit button, and submit button CSS class btn has been referenced in homepage jQuery. So homepage is a parent web page and user control is a child of it. So this is how I have bubbled up the event at the homepage level. Now if you see below, there is an Ajax which in turn invokes jQuery Ajax processing.aspx. If you go there, you look, the user control is initialized and called in its page load. If you closely look, I'll just zoom this part for more understanding. If you closely look, now once I initialize a user control, I have invoked or called a methods that are present in user control, that is .ajax.cs file. So this is where it is. Now my purpose is I will inject http context.current.response.header.add and redirect URL with some values, say for example dashboard.aspx. Here I can do any kind of server-side operations. I can do database operation, can call SQL Server, do DML process. What is DML process? It's data manipulation language, that is delete, update, add, stuff like that. If you look here, this submit button is also a server side, which I have where we have a server side code here, the events here. So again we can do some database operations related to our applications. So once again I will just go through home.aspx page, where I will show where I have written this jQuery code, where I have called a.ajax, type post and some data test, and I have invoked jQuery Ajax processing. Now home page has user control, web user control, and this web user control processing is done through a jQuery Ajax processing.aspx. If we go in jQuery.ajax.processing.aspx page, in the page load we will see there is a user control which has been initialized and been called. This method called add information response header, which if we go here in user control, we'll see here's a method. In this method we have injected redirect URL in response header.add. So this is what it is. If you look at dashboard, it's pretty simple. Once Ajax process this jQuery code and invokes web user control, it has information to navigate to dashboard. So this is what we have right now. So it's pretty simple, straightforward framework. There's nothing much into it. All I can do is I'll just try to run this code. Before we do that, if we closely look, I have inserted some alert statement. We can very well use console.log, but in order to make it this demo very simple, I have inserted alert. Then if there is some error, then we'll have something like this. Let's do Ctrl F5 and check whether it's running fine or not. So here we go. I'll push submit button, step UC button clicked, okay, nothing happened. Again nothing happened. It seems there's an error. System.platform, this operation requires IIS integrated pipeline mode. Now it's really important that we need to configure this website in IIS 7.5. I'll just go back to my code. I'll just write something here for better understanding. That IIS 7.5 has two modes, classic and integrated mode. Classic mode is for backward compatibility IIS 6.0. So if you have an application which has been developed and hosted in IIS 6.0, you can very well migrate it to 7.5 with switching on classic mode as true. Okay, how do we do that? Now let's go and check how we are going to do it in IIS. Now before we do that, I'll just walk you through the small pointers. So we'll take first point. run the application, show error, we get an error, IIS 7.5 integration mode to be configured. So here we are right now. Now we are going to configure website in IIS and choose integration mode 4.0. Now let's go there in IIS and create some new website, add website. I'll say http header response say 1. I have already created, so for demo purpose I will do this again. I'll go into the code, http header here, done. So I will assign port 82. Okay, I already have websites on port 80 and 81. I'll say okay. I will go in apples. I'll just expand this. It's 2.0. I have to configure it 4.0 and integrated modes. For that I'll go in advanced mode. See, if you see here, there's a classic and integrated. So managed pipeline mode should be integrated here. At the same time, I have to change my .NET framework to 4.0. That's cool. Okay. So once done this, I'll check my website 82. Here we are. I'll say browse. So if you look, we got an error, HTTP error 500.90. There's an internal server error. If you look into this, there's cannot create configuration file due to insufficient permission. So now it's time to give permission to our website. So configure website and choose integration mode. We are done with this. So there is a problem with permission. So as you see, there is an error here. So in order to tackle this error, we have to give permissions. So I'll click on edit permission. I'll go in security tab and I will add new role everyone to this website. So click on check name, so it is there. Once I given this permission everyone role to this website, I think this will run fine. So I'll just refresh this website again. I'll say browse. Here we go. So see, it's working fine now. Let's click on the submit. This submit button will call a jQuery code. And then jQuery Ajax will invoke jQuery Ajax processing.cs file where it will process. It will initialize user control and then it will do some server-side processing and navigate to dashboard. So you click on this tab, you see button clicked. Nothing happened. Let's try once again. So there's some problem. Yep. So we are here. So you see here, if I reach here to Ajax processing and my address is stored in xhr.getResponseHeader. So this is how we have this small demo working fine. Now let's move on to the other topic. So I have added everyone into everyone in security tab of our website in IIS. Then we have browser application. It's going proper right now. Now I will show you how to add rules and features through control panel windows and features. So it's very essential that we have various services in IIS, and sometimes there are few features and rules that are not been added and which may result into problems in IIS while you configure a website. So it's better that you understand this nitty-gritties. So I'm already there in the control panel. I click on turn Windows features on and off. I click here. It will take some time to appear. So if you look here, you'll find .NET Framework 3.5.1. Here it is. Similarly, we have Internet Information Service. We have FTP servers if you want to configure that. We have a web management tool, so we can even have a IIS 6 management compatibility on if we want to do so. On similar lines, I have a World Wide Web. So here health and diagnosis. There are many features like ASP.NET extensions, IIS API extensions, and then health and diagnostic like HTTP login tools, request monitor tracing, and many more as such. Similarly, performance features like compressions and all, we can do that very well. So this is Windows 7. Similarly, in Windows Server 2008, we have a server managers where you explicitly have a role and features menu appear upfront in server management manager tools and utilities. So this is what we covered so far. Now I will show how to add default page selection in IIS. So here we go in default documents. I guess I already have this been configured here, home.aspx. Let's see what are the next. So set as a start page in your application this. So all you need to do is need to say right click and set as a start page. That I already done so. So I hope that you got so far you're able to understand what I'm trying to help you with. Let's move on to the next topic, that is Fiddler. Now I will show you how to read this HTTP response header value. So what I try to do here is through Ajax processing call, I loaded this user control I invoke this add information response header. What is the purpose of doing this? I have stored a small amount of information, that is dashboard.aspx, in response header. Using a jQuery, I read those information using xhr.getResponseHeader, and then I navigated to this. So all I need to do here is I'll just copy this and replace it with this. Okay, save this and run again. So it will not run because there's a problem with this, so I need to run with S82. So it's better that I go through 82, browse, here it is, submit, button clicked, this is, so here we are. So what I did, I tried to read information using a JavaScript get response header, and I have done this. So in order to check this in using a Fiddler, so I'll just go back to this initial page. I'll click on Fiddler. Fiddler windows will appear here. Now all I need to do is I just need to click here and check. Right now if you look here, there is nothing as such. Even the miscellaneous has nothing to show. Right now we haven't initiated any request. Let's do one thing. I click on submit. Now I'll go through this Fiddler in more details. I click jQuery Ajax processing. If you look here, if you see the header, response header, I have added this redirect URL dashboard.aspx. So we have injected this into HTTP header page. Similarly, there are text view, image view, then web view. So there is no web view for jQuery, so we can look into this dashboard where we can have a web view. It's not been rendered. Header. So we'll check once again how it is. So let's see. Yep, here it is. Header, web view. So normally the web view appears in this window, but somehow it is not appearing here. Now let's do once again this activity. Okay, let's check now. Yes, we are here. The test data is the data where I have added here, so you can be in Fiddler. Header, this is a request header. Similarly, we have a response header. This is a request header. We have this response header. I'll just bring this down. We have a redirect URL, dashboard.aspx. Then I'll navigate to dashboard.aspx. Okay, we have already fetched those record and navigated to dashboard. So we can see authentication, caching, cookies, etc. Something like this. So that's it for today's session. I hope you have learned something, and you can try this by yourself. Happy coding, and see you next time. Thank you very much.